Good morning, campers. Hope you are doing well. I know some of you will not be tuning into this until a little bit later because you are at school. Hope you are feeling okay. I know it must be quite a difficult concerning time for a few of you since you are going back into school and you haven't been to school in kind of 3 months. So if you are in school, have been in school today, I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you need to vent, I am here. Please excuse the way I look. I had a barbecue last night, so I really need to wash my hair because it's all smoky and gross, but just could not be bothered this morning. Also, I do apologise if there is some noise from outside, some banging and kind of general building sounds. As you know, my parents, I'm isolating with my parents in quarantine. Well, I'm quarantining with my parents in Plymouth, and they are having their fence done today, meaning there is no place in the house that I can teach without there being some noise interference. So, and third thing is I look like Rudolph because even though you sit in the sun for a few hours with sunscreen on, you get a nice red nose, which does mean that I'm probably going to not survive in Qatar. Never mind. Right, today's lesson is going to be no more than 15-20 minutes max. Like if I'm at 20 minutes, I've rambled. I'm hoping to get it all done within kind of 15 minutes. So we have done no exam technique for Whitechapel yet, and that's totally fine because 2 of the 3 questions that you get for Whitechapel you have seen before. We're going to start with the easiest one first. Then we're going to go for the one that you absolutely adore. Then we are going to go for one that you've never met before and that I absolutely despise, but it's got to be done. Now, in the Whitechapel section of your crime course, there is 3 questions that you answer, as I've said. Question 1, 2A, 2B. So question 2, they linked together. We're going to look at question 1, it's worth 4 marks. Then question 2A is 8 marks. Question 2B is also 4 marks. So it is only worth 16 marks, the whole Whitechapel section. However, those 16 marks can be the difference between a grade 4 and a grade 5, or, excuse me, or even if you're going for those top grades, the 7s, the 8s, that's what it's going to be. Now, like I said, we've met this question before. We have done this in our Elizabeth course. Oh, it's still not straight. There we go. It's a features question. So you will be familiar with this. We have done it before. And the first question asks you to describe 2 features of ... and they will choose an element of Whitechapel that they would like you to describe. So let's go over our quick do's and don'ts. I've got my little trusty slideshow that I've sent you. I say my trusty slideshow, it's Mrs. Goy's that I have totally stolen. So please excuse me while I've got my little Disney top on. Oh, I don't know, what do I want to be this side? Yeah, let's go around, let's go this side. So a features questions, we know that it's worth 4 marks. Let's go for a nice little pink here. Now, what's really cool about this is this: you've got to imagine that you are describing these features to a younger sibling or to a year 7, someone that has got no clue. You've got to treat the examiner as if they are someone that has never encountered your Whitechapel course before. They have never encountered this particular topic, and you are explaining it to them in a nutshell. So you only need 4 sentences. For your 4 marks. Okay, if you are doing more than 4 sentences, you are doing too much. As lovely as it would be to have a full-on explanation of these different features from you to show off that you know what you're talking about, it's not going to increase your marks. It can literally give you a maximum of 4 marks. So don't waste your time and your energy on writing more than 4 sentences. There's really, really no point. All you've got to do then is 1 sentence. So your first sentence needs to state the feature. I.e., you make a point. Ooh, that does say point, just deal with it. So you need to just say, okay, right, boom. Now, to use the example that Mrs. Goy has done is one of hers is about the workhouse. So workhouses had very poor conditions and very strict discipline. Boom, made a point. There is nowhere to go than that. That is a fact. You have got to be straight and up to the point. Your second sentence then needs to be the supporting evidence. I have just hit my thigh on the corner of my ottoman. Now, in that supporting evidence, if you can throw a fact or a figure or a key person in there, that would be great. However, if you can't, you've got to be nice and specific with your sentence. So, for example, families were separated if they went in together, and all inmates had to wear uniforms. Boom. So you've got about families being separated, and then you've also got about the uniforms. So we're talking about how it's strict, and this is why. It's sort of like you're saying, Kate, it's this because of this. And you then just do that again. But you've got to make sure that your two features are different. Just like your consequences in the Cold War. They do have to be different. So if you're going to talk about, for example, we've got, move your head. If we have got that workhouse question, so we've talked about how it's strict and there were very poor conditions. The next one could be about the physical labour, the work that they did. If you're going to say about how it's strict, you could then say about the uniforms and the separating as one. If you want to then talk about the poor conditions and how they didn't sleep on a bed, that would be a separate one. That's fine. You don't have to do them as two in one. But you've got to make sure that when you are talking about the different features, they are different. They can have they are by their nature going to be sort of similar because they are linked together. They're inherently about the same thing. They are going to have like a similar line. However, they have to be different. So I'm trying to think another question that we could do that's not on your, that I've asked you to submit. Okay. We could talk about two features of crime in Whitechapel. That was one, I believe. Well, then you would talk about how about there was alcohol and there were gin palaces in every other businesses, and there was a lot of prostitution because of women couldn't survive. So again, alcohol and prostitution, yes, they link, but they are two separate different crimes, if that makes sense. So you have got to, when you're doing a features question, you are doing 4 sentences, 1 sentence to state what your feature is, the second to back it up. You do that 2 times. Both of those go together to make 4 sentences. 4 sentences equals 4 marks. Your features need to be different. Yes, they are going to be linked and be similar, but they have to be separate points, if that makes sense. What I'd like you to say then is I have gone over the the premise of that PowerPoint that I sent you, but that is there for you with an example and a structure on there to help you. I then want you to have to go at 4 different 4 markers. So they really shouldn't take that long. Obviously, I've put 75 minutes on your show my homework thing in Teams, but for some of you, it might only take half an hour. But I want you to have a go, and using the revision that you did last week, hence why I got you to do revision, I want you to have an attempt at these questions. Now, I'm not obviously going to go over those now because that's your work for today, but you are going to be looking at rookeries, immigration, H division, and the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee. If you are stuck on any of those things, do go back to the PowerPoints that I've set over the last few weeks. They're all on there on those big square, what's it called, pages. Otherwise, give me a shout. Oh my God. I'm like Yawny McYawnson. Obviously, if then you need any other help, give me a shout. Send those to me. I recognise for some of you, you are in school, and sending them to me by the end of the day might not be particularly plausible or fair, since you are in school. So if you can get it to me by the end of the day, because I've tried to set you a kind of a minimal amount with you, the mind of you being in school, please can you send it to me kind of by Wednesday, if that would be great, by our next lesson. So I'm trying to give you a bit of flexibility. Anything you need, you know where I am. And yeah, please don't hesitate to contact me. Anything you need, give me a shout. Stay safe, stay socially distanced when you're in school, and have a go at those 4 markers for me. Have a good day. Bye.